Hi guys, Zach DeSantis here. It's getting kind of dark outside. I had some natural light earlier, but I've fucked this video up a few times. So, anyways, this is my first crack at a review video. I've been playing paintball for about 10 years. I play at Wayne's World in Ocala, Florida. There's a couple reasons why I'm doing this video. Number one, because I don't feel like the Insight has enough positive recognition, I guess, for what it does. I feel like there's a ton of people that shoot them and love them. Insights and onslaughts, I mean, they're awesome. You just got to know what to do with them, I guess. Another thing is in lieu of Bob selling his company. So not only are we going to have like dynamite guns now, he's still going to be designing everything. He's going to be at events. He's going to be sponsoring pro players. But now his customer service will be above subpar, which it's hardly subpar. It's been shit for the last 2 years, at least. I mean, shit. And it's been declining over the past 10. But now that customer service isn't really a thing anymore, isn't really a hang-up, I just wanted to bust this out. I found every video online on the Insight on YouTube, whether it be Dan at Your PB Friend, or I think Hustle Paintball did a video about it in like 2013 when it came out, before all the updates and everything. They're all just too long. They're too drawn out. When they tell you how to lube your marker, it's different every time. I'll show you a foolproof way that your marker will never break, it will never miss a shot, it will never puff, it will never anything. There's nothing to it. I do this to my Insight every weekend. My Insight shoots every weekend, no problem. But first, I wanted to go over what you're going to need with an Insight. So as soon as you buy an Insight, what you're going to need before you can actually use it, in my opinion. Number one, this is my Insight, by the way. Exalt grip. It sounds stupid, and it might be personal preference, but I don't like my hands slippy sliding all over it. It's a pain in the ass. It makes for a bad time. Number two, monkey poo. This is an item of great importance when you own an Insight. If you don't know what this is, look it up, buy it, it's worth the money. This will keep your Insight running perfectly every weekend. I've used a few different things. This is all I use now. It smells like bananas. It's fucking awesome. Buy it. O-rings, for two reasons. Number one, that way in case something bad happens, you have an O-ring kit. If you blow an O-ring, I can't see that happening unless you overpressurize your gun or something stupid happens. Number two, because this actually comes with the updated O-rings. The O-ring monkey kit comes with the updated O-rings. There's two different updated O-rings. I'll show you where they are in a minute, but you're going to need this. I buy an O-ring kit with every gun. Everyone else should too. You're stupid if you don't. Number three, like I mentioned before about overpressurizing, you're going to want to get some type of adjustable reg. I use Ninja, made in America, whatever. This is an SLP, which is super low pressure. You can use super low pressure on your bobs, or you can use a Ninja reg with all the shims out, which is 450 psi. So if you want to shoot it with just a regular Ninja and you have a Ninja tank and you don't want to spend the money, then cool. I actually wish I just had a regular Ninja tank because I'm kind of limited with the SLP, but that's how it happened. I bought it used, no big deal. I guess first thing I'll show you in the foolproof Insight plan, that way your Insight will never break down. Number one, the first thing you need to do as soon as you get it is you need to update the O-rings. So here's your internals. I'm going to show you how to lube them in a few minutes, but you're going to unscrew this. This unscrews. I don't know if you can, my light in here sucks. Here's your bolt. There's an O-ring right here that comes off, and what you're left with is this here. Now the O-rings that have to be updated are these two here. These two need to be changed to a 10 a size 10. It doesn't matter if it's polyurethane or Buna or whatever. You can use whatever. I don't suggest using polyurethane, and I don't suggest using colored O-rings. I don't really like them. I don't think they work that well. Whatever. A lot of people swear by polyurethane. Just buy some junk O-rings and put them in here. They'll work. Another one is in between this gold piece and this black can is a 2x20. It's super tight. If you can move your gold shutoff valve, like if it moves freely, you don't have the updated O-rings in it. So if you're wondering, usually that's a telltale sign that you don't have them. While I have the bolt out, it's a perfect time for me to tell you how to lube it. What you're going to do is, this is how I lube it every weekend. I don't open it up. I don't do anything, crazy. I don't have to unscrew anything. I don't have to really get into it. It doesn't take me 20 minutes to lube my gun. That's a pain in the ass. What I do is I take a fat glob of lube. If it's dirty, wipe it off first. If it's not, lube it. A fat glob of monkey poo. Stick it on here. Rub it around. Really messy. Whatever. Fat glob. Rub it around on the 2 O-rings. Slide it back and forth. Come over here. Get some more. There it is. I put it on here. Not on the tip, but on here. On this shaft. Lube it up, slide it back and forth, and you're done. That's it. That's all I do every weekend. Make sure it has a good sloppy amount. If it does, your gun will shoot great all day long. If it doesn't, it'll start puffing. It'll break paint. It'll do dumb shit. Mine never does. I haven't broken a paintball in my Insight since I've had it. I think I got this one 2, 3, 4, 5 months ago. I don't even know. I've had so many guns. But anyways, I don't break paint in my Insight because my gun's always lubed and it's always updated. So there's that. Another part of the update process, I wipe my hands off. Another part of the update process, something that you want to do before you even go out on the field with your Insight for the first time, is your board. Your board needs to be at least at 5.19 or above. So that's the most current flash, 5.19 or above. I think this one's 5.20 or 5.21. I can't remember. But just make sure you have that done. If you don't have it done, call Blast or just email them ahead of time. And well, don't email them, call them. And then send them your board with $10 and they'll flash it for you and send it right back. That may be subject to change. They may be doing that for free now because they changed. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. I'm not, I don't know anything about that. Another thing is make sure that your trigger is adjusted correctly. Some people get runaway triggers when it's a gun right out of the box. Runaway trigger means you're shooting semi, and then all of a sudden your gun just shoots full auto out of nowhere. That might sound fun until you almost, hurt someone, or you're in the pits and you're trying to chrono and your gun goes off, or you're trying to shoot and then you put your gun down, you shoot yourself, or whatever. What you can do to combat that is my trigger activation is way back here. So that's where it is. You can see how long my trigger pull is. My activation, where it actually clicks, is way back here. You want your trigger activation to be towards the back of the trigger pull. If it's like in the first 30-40% of the trigger pull, it's gonna have the runaway trigger eventually. It'll either come a little bit loose. It may start off okay, but it's gonna come a little bit loose over time, and then you'll get the runaway trigger. It's very comfortable like this. You can still shoot it. You can still shoot it on semi. I can rock this. Just make sure that your trigger activation is way far back. These triggers are awesome, whether you have the flat one, the flat like scythe style, or even the deuce, like on the new Bobs, which is what this one has. Just make sure that that's adjusted. All right, so there's that. I'll run through my settings really super fast. If you own this gun and you play with it for more than 10 minutes, you should know how to change the settings. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna show you quickly how to turn it on and go into the settings. You're gonna press the trigger down, then press the button on the back. That's how you go through the settings. I understand that you can't see it, so I'm gonna run through them with you real quick. So you're gonna go through your modes. Your debounce needs to be at 2. So go ahead and set your debounce to 2. Mechanical debounce at 5. Trigger filter at 6. Dwell needs to be 12 and above. You can go 12 to 15. I shoot mine at 12. You can shoot yours at 13, 14, 15. It doesn't matter. At 12 it will work. If you're getting any kind of chop or anything like that, any kind of chop or blowback. Sorry about that. My dogs are freaking out. Anyways, so if you're getting any kind of chop or funny, your gun's just acting weird, definitely set your dwell to 12 before you even go out on the field. Your caliber doesn't change. Your bolt delay, put it at 20. Your text is on you whether you're right or left-handed, and then you have an option to factory reset. I've never used that. So your BD delay needs to be at 8 milliseconds, and then that will take you back to the mode, which is on you. Sorry, I keep pausing, guys. But essentially, that's the Bob Log Insight for Dummies. There's not much more to cover. I get asked a lot, actually, whether it be online or even at the field. I don't really have a budget. I could go out and buy the new CSR or the Lux Ice or an LV1 or whatever, and a lot of people ask me, why this particular marker. For my style of play, which I just recently started playing speedball, so that's awesome. It works great in speedball. It's super light, it's super fast, super reactive, it's super flat shot. But I play a lot of scenarios. I play a lot of 24-hour scenarios. It's pretty cool. I can shoot a 68-45 off a case of paint off a 68-45, damn near. As quiet and as quick as the Insight can shoot, and as reliable as it can be. Another reason is I love Bobs, but I hate using a pressure tester. This gun doesn't need a pressure tester. It just has an LPR or a high pressure reg. You adjust this and that's it. There's nothing to it. Bob's barrels. I use the 2-piece. I have a few backs. This is probably my favorite barrel. I mean, I used a Stella. I found the finish on the Stella to be subpar compared to this. I think CP is still contracted to make Bob's barrels. They're fucking awesome. They work great. They're quiet. They look nice. Plus, just look at this milling. I mean, it's just a head turner. This is a pure. I'm getting blue off my screen, but I mean, this thing's awesome. It's everything that I could ask for in a gun. It's macroless. Being a kid and starting in 2000 or 2004 or 2003, when it was just like Intimidators and autocockers and Angels, just having a gun without a macro line. Remember when the Mini came out, just like changing the whole game. Like, to me, this is as simple and as fast and as high end as markers need to be. So I've shot up close to 50-60 different markers, and I always come back to the Insight. It never, anyone at my field can tell me, I really like the RSX Shocker. I thought they were great, but I always go back to Bob, no matter what the customer service was like, no matter what my experience was. His markers to me are just superior. I hope anyone with an Insight learned from this. If you're thinking about picking one up, don't listen to the hoopla and bullshit about how they don't work or there's a problem with them or they need, whatever. Pick up a used Insight for less than $500. Get an O-ring kit and some monkey poo and go dominate every weekend. I appreciate the help, guys. Or I appreciate being able to help you guys. If I did, comment or whatever. I'll probably be posting this on Facebook. Don't be too hard on me. Good night.